let him cook. Don't let him cook. He's cooking. Welcome back to the Northern Steel Podcast, episode number 84. 84 after that famous, amazing player with a little bit of head trauma named
Denzel Lee, Dominic.
Denzel Lee Dominic. Nope, Denzel Lee. We could go with Antonio Brown.
Or more recent top recruiter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cordero Patterson.
Or Jermaine Tooman.
Or Tony Jeter.
All right, welcome back to the Northern Steel Podcast. This is episode 84. We are back after another win against the New York Jets in Week 7,
Huge.
bringing our grand total win to 5-2. It is huge. It's great. Russell Wilson played that game. He played well. Steelers won handily. But before we get into dissecting the game review, like always, we are going to do our highlights. If you missed the game because you're too busy trying to get out of New Jersey because it's a smelly, stinky town, we have the highlights just for you. Week 7, Sunday Night Football. Starting Russ for the first game, but so far the results are the same. Again, as the Steelers end the first drive with a Boswell kick to go up 3. Give it up to the MVP, man. However, the Jets are starting to move the ball very easily on the Steelers, mostly from this man right here, Breece Hall. And here he takes the handoff, runs to the right, and gets by everyone for the easy touchdown. Jets on top, 7-3. Breece is like, I don't know what happened. The head coach with the fake beard on the sidelines is like, I'm just going to keep clapping. I'm not doing anything. This is Rodgers' team. Speaking of, let's look at that play. As you can see here, Aaron Rodgers turns to hand the ball off and time freezes. He whispers in Hall's ear, if you don't score a goddamn touchdown, you're going to see me on a different drug than ayahuasca. And it rhymes with betanol and betamine. Later in the second, Steelers ball, and Russ throws a ball to the moon. And George Pickens goes, oh, you thought I couldn't catch anymore? Watch this. And snags the ball with one hand. Matter of fact, with one arm. Catches it like he's cradling a newborn. This dude is a freak. Look at Davante Adams. He knows it too. He's like, wow, I really could have been playing opposite of an alien, but at least I have friendship. Friendship's not strong enough because the Steelers still have to settle for 3 points.
Steelers applying massive pressure as Rodgers dumps the ball to Breece Hall. He quickly tries to ruin my season as he makes our own defender dive into TJ's knees as he escapes literally everyone and scampers up the field until he's brought down by Minkah just short of the goal line. This sets the Jets up nicely for the most easily predicted play action as Rodgers finds Conklin in the end zone for 6. Absolutely pathetic. But what's more pathetic than this 2-point conversion is the fact that the NFL hates Minkah Fitzpatrick. And honestly, you cannot convince me otherwise that his play was completely legal and he blocked the extra point. You know what? The NFL later apologized to Tomlin, and to that I say, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Jets get the ball back, trying to score before half. Rodgers feels the heat and fires a laser to Beanie Bishop. Unreal grab and snag of the ball from Rodgers, and you will most likely be hearing from his lawyers later. But in the meantime, Steelers drive with 30 seconds left. Russ throws a prayer to Sir Pickens as he snags it in the corner of the end zone for 6. Take a closer look at his matchup, and Pickens makes a grown man look silly. He types in the chat, GG, easy.
Steelers ball again, and Russ is just cooking up some deep balls. This one a little undercooked, but Pickens doesn't care about nutrition. He's a freak, man. I mean, for the love of God, as he hangs on for the big gain down the sideline. Davante's still over there on the sidelines like, what are they feeding this man? The ball, Davante. The ball. And one deep pass wasn't enough. Let's serve another. This time, it's a hair overcooked, but Freiermuth snags it with one hand for the big completion as well. Unfortunately, again, this does not result in a touchdown. They have to settle for another field goal. I know Boswell's the GOAT, but Russ, if you want the fans on your side, we need touchdowns. I don't know, like 3 more maybe. Just spitballing. On the Jets' next drive, Rodgers is going to throw it up to Garrett Wilson. It hits him right in the breadbasket, bounces up in the air, and Beanie Baby has his second pick of the game. Are you kidding me? He's picking up blocks, running to the right, and if it wasn't for Davante Superman diving, he would have scored. But alas, he's tackled at the 1-yard line. Oh no, Garrett Wilson. Aaron's gonna throw you to the wolves, my boy. You just dropped an easy pass in front of Aaron's idol, Donald Trump. That's why you're rumored to be on the trade block now. You shouldn't be, but this is Rodgers' team now. Be scared, buddy. Be scared. You don't know what's going on in that dude's head. Davante Adams running with 100% with an injured hamstring to save the pick because nobody scores on my friend. Steelers ball and no one's messing and no more messing around. It is time to put up some points. Quarterback sneaked right away, and the rest have to come and converse. I didn't see anything, did you? No, not really. I mean, he's over the line now, so do we call a touchdown? Yeah, I guess we call a touchdown. They can't reverse it if there's too many people. I think our jobs are safe with that. Man, I love being garbage at my job. You and me both. Anyway, sorry for that tangent, but it is a touchdown by the Steelers. Again, we're going to show another quarterback sneak because the NFL intern doing these highlights is really bad at his job. But hey, that's okay. Touchdown, I'll take it. And the Steelers are going to go up 23-15. Can the Steelers hang on to this lead?
Steelers go at the start of the fourth quarter, and we need to score. And Najee Harris using every chance he gets to make this team regret not signing him to that extension as he rips off a huge gain of 30. Dude is playing straight filthy, which sets up the offense nicely for... Wait a second. Is that a Van Jefferson touchdown? His touchdown icon pops up, and he points into the eyes of all of his doubters as he contributes more to this game than Davante Adams. Thank you, our glorified wide receiver 2. We have finally found you, I think. I don't know. We'll probably trade for someone. Steelers get the ball back after Jets turn the ball over on downs. Knocking on the door of the end zone, Steelers look to kick the Jets while they're down, and they do exactly that as Najee Harris takes the handoff and runs into the end zone, capping off back-to-back 100-yard games for Naj, and Pittsburgh securing the Steelers' most impressive win of the season, 37-15. Dom, what did you think of this game?
Well, if you happen to miss our post, or we talked about this last week on the podcast, but we did end up streaming the game. We watched it live. We reacted to it. And you could follow us. And special shout out again. I shouted this man out on the stream a lot, but Tom Grossi of Packer fame. He's a Packer fan on YouTube. He rated our stream. We had about 300 people jump in and comment and chat with us, and it made the game super fun. Made the stream really fun. You can watch that on our YouTube right now and check out those highlights from that. But the game, it was, it started off kind of worrisome. Russell Wilson was not cooking. He was really struggling, throwing the ball with any kind of accuracy for a little bit. I mean, the first drive, they got him moving, but we had talked about in the first quarter about some of the plays that weren't working, how Fields would have made those plays potentially better. We talked about, I think their first drive ended on a third down and Russ had to throw the ball away, or maybe Fields would have escaped and done something different with that using his legs. Who knows what he would have done, but maybe something different. Had to settle for a field goal. And then there's a bunch of drives where he was just inaccurate on short passes, throwing it behind receivers, throwing it to the dirt, throwing it to the ground. And even when he started cooking it up more, he still wasn't really that accurate. It was nice to see them score, and it's definitely going to surge in that second half. But Russell Wilson's deep balls, I mean, were kind of all over the place. The one that Pickens caught one-handed was underthrown. The one that the touchdown to Pickens on the fade was underthrown. The deep touchdown to Pickens again on the other sideline was underthrown with the bobble. The deep throw to Freiermuth was a little overthrown. And that seemed to be a common theme. However, to give grace, this isn't just a this isn't just a let's tear Russell Wilson down. This is his first game since Christmas of last year. It's his first time really getting in the game because he missed training camp, missed preseason. And I think those throws can get better. And I think the biggest thing is because people were trying to say, like, well, Justin Fields can make those throws. And Justin Fields does have a really good deep ball. He can make those throws. The difference is that Russell Wilson has the awareness and was reading the defense to even attempt those throws, where Justin Fields, unfortunately, wasn't. I mean, the Pickens deep ball, Calvin Austin was wide open underneath. And that would have been a 10-yard gain, sure. But the George play was the better throw. It was underthrown. If you would have thrown him on the money, that could have been a touchdown because there was no safety nearby. But that was the better option to go there. The Freiermuth deep throw, nobody open. Terrible routes running there. Freiermuth was the only option, and he had the wherewithal to throw him that ball where Fields maybe would have tried to run it. That's the difference you're going to get here. I think the best part about Russell Wilson was his play recognition, his aggressiveness to take shots down the field, his willingness to do those throws. His accuracy wasn't there, but that should get better. Whereas Fields, you had those moments where he could have escaped some more sacks. There was a play towards the end zone where Russell Wilson tried to throw it to Pickens, who got away from Sauce Gardner in the end zone, but threw it at his feet, where he was open, could have made that touchdown, could have made the throw, but he also had green grass in front of him where Fields probably just would have ran it for a touchdown too. So you're getting, like we talked about, it's a 50-50 thing. It's a give and take. You're going to get what you get. But the thing with Russ that excites you more as a passer is he is taking those shots, and that definitely worked so far.
Look. I agree entirely. I mean, there's pros and cons, and we talked about this before on previous episodes. We weren't super thrilled about the QB change just because to me it didn't make sense and still doesn't make a lot of sense. Just, knowing how the Steelers were playing, where they're 4-2, they just came off a big win against the Raiders. Like, things looked like they were clicking, and then obviously we get a change, and it's Russ's time to shine. Danger Russ bus is out there at quarterback. But yeah, no, I could not agree more. I think the time away from playing, especially with his injury, he really didn't get a lot of opportunities to throw the ball, especially in preseason. What did we see? 1 drive, 2 drives out of him at most. The lights just went. Anyway, yeah, there were a lot of questionable throws that he had. Throws that I felt like an NFL quarterback shouldn't be making. Like, there's one where it's an easy screen over to Calvin Austin, and the dude basically just skipped rocks over to him. I don't know what happened there, or if he just didn't have the arm strength to him, which is ridiculous since he was frying bombs all throughout that game. But no, it was just, there were some passes that were very much in the ground, underthrown, as you had mentioned before. And I was just like, man, is he just rusty? You know what I mean? It's just I don't know, there's a lot to it. But then again, on the other side, there's plays where, Russ tried to maybe scramble up the field and he got, shoestring tackle and it maybe fell a yard earlier. It happened way early in the game, and me and Dom were like, if Justin Fields was in there, he's not getting tackled right there. He's probably going to be, making a play with his legs and getting the first down. Pros and cons to both of those players. Things were very, very, very underthrown, but I agree. I mean, he took the chances, which was one thing. I think I made the comment earlier where there's just a different zip to the ball that Justin Fields has. Things were just firing out of his hands when he needed them to be, whereas I felt like every time Russ threw the ball, it just kind of felt like a lob to me. So I'm curious to see how things are going to look moving forward. I'm sure, obviously, he's working hard during practice this week. We have a long stretch between the Jets game and the Giants game, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But hopefully it's just time to practice and work together. I think the team as a whole felt very uplifted. I don't think Justin Fields took things personally by the QB change. I feel like he just, at least on the surface, has the demeanor of, I didn't play well enough, but let's keep working hard. And I think, there's still some future plans in the works for Mr. Fields. So we'll just have to see what happens. But overall, is a pretty exciting game to watch.
He didn't need to throw the ball harder because he had touch passes and they worked. So there was no situation where a touch pass was the problem, I guess. So I would say that Fields has more zip on his pass, but Russ didn't need to throw the ball harder at all.
No, for sure.
I also would like to point out that Russ took a lot of plays under center, and I think that does help the run game a lot more too. Also, what helped the run game is the fact that he was pushing the ball down the field. Justin Fields, I think, was a stat, and now I know it's a 6-game to 1-game comparison, but Fields and the run game was seeing a boxed stack defense 50 to 60% of the time, and in this one game, Russell Wilson's run game, when they're lined up, was seeing a stacked box defense around 25% of the time. So yeah, him pushing the ball down the field, him running, him taking the ball from center was also helping the run game a lot. Najee had another great game. The playmakers really helping, showing out for him. Defense was going crazy too, like they always do. TJ Watt didn't have to play a game.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He really didn't. And I was just going to say, shout out to the offensive line. I saw some snapshots from the all 22. And I mean, some of the holes that Najee was getting were absolutely just insanely big. So like, especially with guys hurt like Zach Frazier, Ryan McCollum went in there and he filled in, I thought, fairly nicely, especially when you have a big challenge like Quinnen Williams to go up against. Like, great job. Hats off to you, offensive line. I really hope this play continues for you because that was pretty good. And this all came against, I'm pretty sure Jets were like, as far as yardage defense goes, weren't they like number 2 or something like that?
They're a top 3 passing defense, and they gave up a lot of yards. I mean, their running defense wasn't very good, and Najee did get 100 yards, but that got stronger as he went along. The passing defense also was missing DJ Reed, so it was just like Sauce Gardner and then a bunch of other people there. But regardless, they're NFL players, and the team definitely came together and put out a good win. I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row they've scored 30-plus points with Fields and Russell Wilson, so that's great. I also, I know you mentioned they have something cooking for Fields. I'm not sure if they do. I think that's more saying words, because when I really thought about it, the pick that Beanie had that brought it down to the 1-yard line for a quarterback sneak for Russell Wilson, that was the perfect time to put Fields in. Russell Wilson's like 5'10". Justin Fields is like 6'3", way bigger.
For sure.
If you're going to do a quarterback sneak with anybody, especially if you don't want Russell to get hurt, you bring in Fields to do a quarterback sneak. I feel like the fact that they didn't do it at all makes me feel like they're not going to have a plan to bring Fields in. I don't foresee them doing any packages.
Yeah, and I guess let me clarify. I think what I should have said there is like less of a plan to incorporate him into this year's current offense and more of like the dude's young and I think he's a proven talent. I think I don't know if we're going to be in a position to draft high on a quarterback, or if there's a quarterback that will be available or one that we want
drafting.
Yeah. So I when I say like a future plan, I mean, as far as I see it, unless obviously we win a Super Bowl and want to pay Russ out, which I just think is very highly unlikely because the dude will want to get paid at that point. I think Fields is probably going to be, the guy that we're going to be looking towards in 2025. Or at least I think he has a high possibility, and I think he likes the environment here in Pittsburgh. I think all the people really like him. Everyone was really defending him during the QB change. Obviously, it's a business, so they understood it. But at the same time, like everyone was like, "Hey, he played really well. I like Jay did nothing wrong." Like obviously, just those things happen. So I think he'll be around next year. I think the plan is to kind of establish him at that QB1 spot next year, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, there's a lot of ball to be played.
And I do think they should put Fields into some play packages, but those are the moments they should have done it. And for them to not do it makes me feel like they're not going to do it at all. Because I don't think it's fair to like you get in the red zone and put Justin Fields in because everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a quarterback run or it's going to be whatever, right? But for an obvious quarterback sneak situation, which Russell had to do twice, I think you're going to have better success with Fields on doing a quarterback sneak because he's bigger and taller, and I think that's the time to do it. But the fact they didn't do it at all makes me feel like maybe it probably doesn't happen. But we'll see. Back into delusion land. We miss on Brandon Ayuk. We miss on Devonta Adams, and it's time for Cooper Kupp. That's right, Cooper Kupp. Wants to be, or not wants to be, that's not the right word, but the Rams are potentially trading away Cooper Kupp. They've been talking about it. It's been breaking news. The Chiefs were the highest betting team to make that trade. It sounds like they tried to trade for him, but they just didn't want to trade as high as the Rams were asking for, and instead settled for DeAndre Hopkins going to the Chiefs, who some Steelers fans wanted. I mean, he's definitely better than all of our wide receiver 2 guys, but and it would have been exciting, but the Chiefs got a steal, got DeAndre Hopkins for a 5th rounder, and the Titans took some of that money, but it makes it a rental. It's a 10-game rental, which is fine. But now Cooper Kupp, the Steelers are the favorite to land Cooper Kupp, but I know Omar does not want to give a 2nd-round pick, and he doesn't want it to be a rental. I don't think it will be. I think his contract goes to 2026. So look out for that. I'm going to stay delusional. I'm going to stay optimistic. Hopefully that happens because I'd love to have Cooper Kupp on the team. I love me some Kupp, but just want to throw it out there into the world, into the universe.
I mean, getting Cooper Kupp would be honestly really cool. I know he's had an injury history, and there's a lot of concerns around that. I know he's been in the league for a while now, so obviously there's that age factor, but I think he's still good enough. I mean, the dude was a Triple Crown player. What was that, 2-3 years ago? So I mean, I don't think he's that far removed from being the elite player that he can be. So I don't know. That'd be really exciting. I have been kind of thinking about this a little bit, but why do I feel like there's been a little like curse going around to all these like hopeful Steeler pickups for wide receiver 2? Because I feel like of all the names that have been passed around that I've heard, they've either gone to a shit team or they've gone through some season-ending injury. And the reason I say that is because like Brandon Ayuk, obviously one, he just tore his ACL and MCL. I remember Chris Godwin at one point was like, oh, he could be a trade candidate for us. Well, his ankle's now flipped around. So, that happened. And, Devontae Adams, now he's on a 2-5 Jets team. Like, what's going to happen? Are we going to, is DeAndre Hopkins going to go in for a game and then just get absolutely murdered? I don't know. Is Mike Williams, if he doesn't stay on our team, is he going to, is there a curse going on, Dom? I got to know.
No, but I do think that
next
I do
segment.
think that Ayuk, it's one of those things where the whole injury thing, I don't know if I don't love that excuse because different situations, different games, different fields changes that outcome. So some people are like, oh, Ayuk, if we would have got him, he would have sucked for us and tore his ACL and MCL. And it's like, well,
anything could happen.
The sucking part he might have because he didn't do it at training camp at all. But I don't know. You can't say he's going to do it tore his ACL on our team because it's a different team, different circumstance, different field, different opponents. Same thing with in Devontae. But the one thing with those two players is Ayuk and Devontae is they made their choices. They chose where they wanted to go, and they stayed in San Fran. Devontae got cooked by us twice. Watched his Raiders team get blown out by 30 points. Watched his Jets team get blown out, and 2 weeks in a row. And he chose those teams. Could have been on the Steelers. Could have been next to George Pickens, but he chose those teams. Cooper Kupp doesn't get a chance to choose. The Rams do. I just feel like Cooper Kupp, I know he's had those injury things in the past, but it's a different team. It's a different thing. Who's to say that happens again? Some people are saying that his scheme doesn't fit, which I don't agree with. They're like, he's a slot receiver. I'm sorry. Cooper Kupp is a great receiver from every output. And the point is that he gets open and he can block, and he's a good run blocker. That's all you need to know. Van Jefferson can't get open, Cooper Kupp can. So we'll see what happens there. People are saying, too, they could go Cooper Kupp for a 3rd and Mike Williams for a 7th because we have extra 7th-round picks and get both of them. And don't hate that at all. So you never know.
No, but what that tells me is it'll be nice seeing Roman Wilson in 2025. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I feel like it's already looking that way, but which
is crazy because Mark Kaboly has said that he looks like a top 3 receiver in practice. So I don't know what Tomlin's beef is with him. If it's a playbook or I don't know what it is, but he says he looks good in practice. So maybe Roman Wilson plays this week. Who says no? I know he got a hamstring injury. I don't know how serious that is. But moving on to this week, we got the New York Giants on prime time once again at home. Steelers wearing the Color Rush jerseys. Last game before the bye week. A lot of people are going to coming back this week. A lot more people coming back after the bye week. And we got to win this game. And to win that game, there's some things we have to do, and then in a segment called
Keys to the Game.
Keys to the Game, Chris. Let them know how we beat this Giants team and move to 6-2.
All right, first thing that we need to know about this matchup is they have Daniel Jones as their quarterback. So that's a win for us, as is. All right? So first key to the game, keep Daniel Jones healthy. Do not sack him. Keep him in the game. Try to only do prevent coverages. I know he likes to run the ball, but, whatever. As long as he's in the game, I'm not really too scared.
I'm not scared of Drew Lock either.
Yeah, I know, but would you rather go up against Daniel Jones or Drew Lock, who should be making the same amount of money, but one swindled the whole team and now is getting $45 million?
I personally don't care. I'd rather not go against Tommy DeVito because he's got secret New York magic.
Yeah, Tommy DeVito still?
Yeah, his 3rd string.
Key to the game. Don't let Tommy DeVito anywhere near the football. Okay, that is number 1. No, for real though. I mean, the biggest thing that the Giants have going for them is Dexter Lawrence, who has 9 sacks in 7 games. So obviously, insane. I know Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. Dude's on par for defensive player of the year if he continues this streak up. But at the same time, I know there's just that challenge for the offensive line because the Jets have a really solid front seven. Quentin Williams is a really solid player. We're going back-to-back weeks right now. All right, that line is going to be tested. Dexter Lawrence needs to be nullified, and we got to keep him out of the game. Just like how teams game plan for TJ, and we've seen it with him getting double, triple teamed, chip blocked, anything they can throw at him. I feel like we got to do the same thing to neutralize Dexter Lawrence. So first things first, take him out of the game. That's going to be huge for us. Their defense as a whole, really the only reason they're in any of these games. I'm not really too worried about their offense. However, it's always those games that have not the best offenses that I feel like they tend to like weirdly pick us apart. I know our defense has like stopped with the blitzing to try to neutralize any kind of big plays, which has been working well in our favor. I think it's going to come down to obviously winning that turnover battle. We've been a very bend but not break defense, and a lot of our turnovers have come in the red zone. I think we have the most red zone turnovers since like 2022, 2021 or something like that. So we just got to keep that alive. Even if the Giants do start driving on us, do whatever you can to keep them out of the end zone and really just ultimately build that gap. Okay. Najee's coming off a strong performance. So I'd love to see him keep going and getting the ball going. It would be nice to establish another run. I don't feel too great about the Giants backfield. I know they have Deonte Banks, who was a pretty solid.
I'll get into their roster in a second.
Yeah. But obviously, we just really got to continue what we started last week. Russ got to find the correct reads, got to hit the guys that are open, and we just got to keep sustaining drives. That's going to be the biggest thing, keeping the ball out of the Giants' hands and have sustainable long drives that end in some sort of point. Hopefully touchdowns, some sort of point. Dom, you got anything to add?
Yeah, it's kind of the same recipe it's been. The Giants have a stronger front seven, in my opinion. Dexter Lawrence being the top of the charts. Tomlin said they are going to find ways to help McCollum to go against Dexter Lawrence. You have to find a way, just like other teams try to do that to TJ Watt. It is going to be kind of like, can the offense score and keep riding this momentum that they've been riding the past 2 weeks? Can Najee keep finding room? Can Pickens keep making plays? Can Freiermuth keep making plays? Because it could be a low scoring affair if they're struggling against the defense, but I just don't really have a lot of faith in the Giants offense either, personally. And maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot, but I just don't. So
it's the NFL.
The Steelers make enough plays, right? Can the Steelers make enough plays to win the game? Because I think it could be, if they're struggling, it could be a low scoring affair by both squads. Going over their roster quickly, I mean, like I said, you have Daniel Jones, you have Devin Singletary, running back, who is back this week, who has had some decent up and down weeks. Tyrone Tracy in the backfield as well, who's had some really good weeks also. But our run defense should be better. We had a really tough time tackling Breece Hall last week, so hopefully the run defense can stiffen up there. Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver. He's a freak, like George Pickens. You got to find a way to double cover him. He's the guy I worry about the most. You have to figure out a way to slow him down because he can beat you up by himself. He's that good. So watch out for Malik Neighbors completely. You want to say something about that or what?
Well, I was just going to say also, Dom bringing up the Malik Neighbors with the wide receivers, but also don't overlook Wan'Dale Robinson, right? The dude has been like top 10 in targets this year. Granted, his yards are not...
Well, yeah, that's why I'm not worried about Wan'Dale Robinson, because I was going to get to him, but yeah, he is top 10 in targets, but his yards are so low. So if he's catching a bunch of balls under the sticks he had 7 catches last week for 23 yards. That's a 3-yard catch average. I'm not really worried about that.
No, I'm not either. I'm just saying I would not be surprised if, he's going to be their go-to guy to pick up some of those third down plays, when we have him stacked. Because he's going to be the underneath guy, the guy that Daniel Jones has really been liking. So, yes.
To be honest, they have a lot of receivers that I like. It's just unfortunate that Daniel Jones is their quarterback. I mean, Malik Neighbors is a freak. Like you said, Wan'Dale Robinson is shifty. He's good. He gets a lot of targets. So that's someone we covered on our draft profiles. We liked Wan'Dale Robinson. They have Darius Slayton on the outside, who, if you watch his film, he's really good, but Daniel Jones is his quarterback, so rough time for him. Even their backup receivers, Jalen Hyatt is a good deep threat. Bryce Ford Wheaton is somebody I wanted this year, who's a tall guy. I mean, they have really good weapons, and it's just not connecting. Malik Neighbors is the only one that can make up for this bad quarterback play, really, but it's just not connecting. But the secondary needs to be on their game because these are wide receivers that can ruin the game. They really can. Regardless of how bad Daniel Jones is, these are wide receivers that can take over the game. Secondary has to be on fire. Look for Minkah Fitzpatrick to actually make a splash play this week. I'm calling it right now. Theo Johnson at tight end. He's a rookie as well. And then their line consists of Joshua Ezeudu at left tackle going against Highsmith. John Runyon at left guard. He's pretty solid going against Cam Hayward. John Michael Schmitz Jr., center. Isn't he from Minnesota potentially? I don't remember, but I know he's a second-year player. Pretty decent center. I know it's someone we wanted last year, but now we have Zach Frazier, so it's all good. Greg Van Roten at right guard. Not really sure about him. And then at right tackle, who said he was not worried about TJ Watt at all, is a guy I've never heard of, Jermaine Eulamanor. Backup Evan Neal, who's
Eulamanor's on that team?
Pick. Yeah. Don't know who that is.
That's a Rutgers legend.
Rutgers legend. Well, anyways, he's not worried about TJ Watt.
I
wouldn't be
no
either
if
I had 2 to 3 people. I wouldn't worried about TJ Watt either if I had 2 to 3 people helping me every single play. But just on one-on-ones, good luck to both those tackles. They don't seem very good in my eyes to be able to stop our people, but their front, their inside guys are definitely a lot better. But we got some good inside guys on our defense as well. So on their front seven, we've talked about how it's good. You got Raheem Nunez, Roches at the end, Dexter Lawrence at nose tackle, Elijah Chapman at defensive end. Outside linebackers are Brian Burns and Bobby Okereke. Both guys are really good there. Inside linebacker, Micah McFadden and what's this? The SLB linebacker, Aziz Ojolari, still in the front seven. Also without Kayvon Thibodeau, so we get to luck out there on that in the front seven. But Aziz Ojolari is very good. Brian Burns obviously very good. Bobby Okereke is very good, and Dexter Lawrence is great. But their secondary is, again, we talked about this, the Jets front seven, and maybe the Jets defense was something we could pass against. It's the same situation here. You have Nick McLeod on the outside, who is kind of struggling. You have Deonte Banks as their best cornerback, but I'll take George Pickens in that battle. You got Tyler Nubin at strong safety, rookie, who's having a good year tackle-wise, but that's about it. You got Jason Pinnock at free safety, not really familiar with your game, sir, I'm sorry. And Drew Phillips, another rookie at nickelback. So secondary is definitely the way to go with this one. And I think if they can figure that out and they can, if the passing game can still be strong, that's going to open up the run game for them eventually. And that's all they need to do. So I still picture that they can get a win here against this team.
Tyler Nubin, a University of Minnesota star.
Yep.
It's a name I feel like I haven't heard in a long time. So I totally did not realize he was on the Giants. Did not realize one bit.
Sure is. Let's wrap this thing up, make it a little shorter. Let's go into our week 7 picks, or week 8 picks, excuse me.
Sure.
Get out of here.
Let's do it.
Okay, tonight's game, Vikings at Rams.
Well, Cooper Kupp's already on the plane to Pittsburgh, so I'm going to go with the Vikings. And I would have gone with the Vikings regardless of that, but, I mean, who's Stafford going to throw to?
Another interesting trade rumor is Matthew Stafford to the Vikings. I don't see that happening, but because
he's
Sam
also on the
so
plane.
well. But if you take the loyalty out of that situation, Stafford is the better pick for the Vikings. But we'll just disregard that for now. Up next is Bears at Commanders.
I really wish Jane Daniels was playing. I think Marcus Mariota played really, really well, and I think the Commanders actually have a pretty solid team. So I really hope Commanders win. However, I'm going to give it to the Bears. They are going to throw a billion times, just because they really don't give a heck rip about Caleb Williams touchdown interception ratio. So I expect 55 passes from this man. But yeah, it's probably going to be Bears if I had to guess.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels is not confirmed out yet. Tomorrow, Friday's practice is a big indication if he's going to play or not. But if he's not playing, I'm also going Bears as well.
He's got hurt ribs.
Yeah, I know. They haven't confirmed him out there, though. So I don't know.
That sucks. I mean, that's a big thing. But anyway.
It's a big game that people are looking forward to with the number 1 and number 2 picks. But he might not be able to play. So next is Packers at Jags.
Packers, 100%.
Yeah, Packers for sure. Nothing to say about that. Cardinals at Dolphins.
Tua's back.
I think he is.
And Tyreek Hill said, "We back, baby. Start me in your fantasy league."
I have not been.
So I told my wife to start Tyreek, and it's going to be Dolphins on top.
Yeah, I'm picking Dolphins too on the presumption that Tua is playing. If he doesn't play, I'd go Cardinals because their other quarterbacks are terrible. But if Tua's playing, I'm picking Dolphins. Jets at Patriots.
I mean, Rodgers promised they were going to go on a run, so I'm going to pick the Patriots.
Are you actually?
I am. I believe in Drake May.
I like Drake May. I think they're scrappy. I don't believe in the rest of that team, and I think the Jets really need a win.
Fair.
So I'm going to go Jets.
So the Patriots.
The Patriots need a win?
Yeah.
They're out of contention. They don't care.
Dude, they're just as into the season as the Jets are, if you look at records.
Yes. They just don't. I just don't believe in them. So, next up is Ravens at Browns.
You know, I'm going to pick the Ravens because I genuinely think they're going to win. They're so good. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really want the Browns to win.
I do too. We talked about how it's always F Browns around here, but now that Deshaun Watson's out with this Achilles injury, which is hilarious, I don't care who knows. It's great. He's a criminal. I'm glad he's hurt. Well, I hope his career's done. The fact that he's out, I think Jameis Winston actually gives the Browns a big boost. I think Chubb gives the Browns a big boost. I mean, the whole team is in a mess, though. The Browns are not happy with their fans. The fans are disgruntled with the Browns. The city's being sued, or the team is being sued by Cleveland. So it's kind of a big overall mess. But with that being said, I am going to go with the Browns because it would help us out if the Ravens lost. I'm not going to go with the Browns. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with the Ravens. Ravens are winning this game. I'm rooting for the Browns, but the Ravens are winning this game.
Yes, sir. Expect Jameis Winston to throw 4 tutties and interceptions.
4 tutties, 5 picks.
The way he does it best. Eating dubs.
Colts at Texans.
I don't know why I thought about that. Texans.
Yeah,
especially
Texans.
If Anthony Richardson plays. Yeah.
He sucks. Titans at Lions.
Mason Rudolph. But Lions. 100% Lions.
Yeah, I was like, what do you think about this either? Yeah, it's Lions.
Dude,
easy in a route.
Mason could lead them to the promised land.
No. Falcons at Buccaneers.
Buccaneers have nobody on wide receiver. So I would have picked Buccaneers, but I'm going to pick the Falcons.
Yeah, that's also why I'm picking the Falcons as well. I would have picked Buccaneers if they didn't lose Evans and Godwin. Saints at Chargers.
I think my record with the Chargers is with the Saints is literally 0 this year. Because I didn't pick them the first 2 games and then they've been ass the last 4. So I'm picking the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm picking the Chargers. I think the Chargers defense should be better than, or it should be as good as the Broncos defense that shut them out last week. So, Bills at Seahawks.
Seahawks are without DK, although I don't think it matters because Josh Allen is having an MVP year that no one is discussing. So I'm going to go with the Bills.
No picks for Josh Allen, who's usually a turnover machine. So
yeah,
I'm also going Bills. Chiefs at Raiders.
Come on, Raiders. But Chiefs, probably 100% Chiefs.
Yeah, what? Yeah, Hopkins is going to have 300 yards. Guarantee it.
He hopes.
Panthers at Broncos.
Bryce Young. Bryce Young is playing.
Unfortunately, against one of the best defenses in the league. So, Broncos.
But yeah, no, I was definitely going to go Broncos.
Eagles at Bengals.
Come on, Eagles, please. I'm going to say the Bengals, but come on, Eagles.
I also am saying the Bengals. It kind of just has that vibe to it, that feeling the Bengals are going to win this one, but I also hope the Eagles win. Cowboys
Burrow's
at Niners.
playing really well.
Burrow's only got 2 picks. He's got like 17 touchdowns or something already. So
yeah, it's crazy. Both those teams, I think, are frauds. And
who?
Cowboys 49ers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, a part of me was like, oh, we should do 49ers because they're home. And I think they're the better team. But at the same time, they have nobody. I mean, they have Debo and Kittle, I guess. And Ricky
Debo, maybe.
Pearsall.
He's still in the hospital.
Fair enough. But they have Ricky Pearsall, who got shot 2 times in the chest.
Right.
Are you going to take him down?
Nope. Bolts can't.
Yeah, seriously. So, I mean, realistically, I'm still going to go 49ers. I don't care. 49ers.
I'm going to go Cowboys because of the lack of weapons from the Niners. So I think I'm going to go Cowboys on that one.
Fair enough.
Giants at Steelers.
Please, Steelers. Steelers, but please.
Steelers, please. Go into that bye week 6-2. That'd feel really nice. It should have been 8-0. A couple plays away from 8-0, but we'll take 6-2 to go in the bye week.
Only we had Russ. No, I'm kidding.
That's going to do it for this week's podcast. Thank you for listening to Northern Steel Podcast. My name is Dominic. This is Chris. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and watchmojo.com. Chris, any last words for the people?
Go Steelers.
Absolutely. See y'all next week. Or maybe not, because it's a bye week, so maybe we take a break. Take that.
There it is.
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe we won't take a break. Maybe we'll do the review, and it'll be a short episode. Review and game picks. Anyways, deuces.
Peace.